start with basketball because they do have Presbyterian tonight. They're looking to go 3-0, and the reason for that is because they came all the way back from down 11 points the other night in the final couple of minutes to defeat Southern Miss. I for what it's worth, I had a great question presented to me yesterday. When is the last time South Carolina had that large of a comeback with like 3 or 4 minutes to go? And the only thing we could come up with, and maybe I've missed something, Mike, you chime in here. The 97 season when they won the SEC championship, they were down like 15 points to Florida in the last few minutes, and they came all the way back. I think BJ knocked down a couple of big shots in that one. But I can't think of a lead that large in the final 2, 3, 4 minutes where Carolina has come back and actually gotten the job done. Can y'all?
I don't know how much the team was down, but the Mike Holmes to Frederick play before that got close, and before it looked like Carolina could win it, and then it looked like for sure they were going to lose it. If memory serves, they were down pretty good at one point, but not to the level of the Southern Miss game. No.
Yeah.
There's probably been a couple. John, your memory might be sharper than mine.
No, it's not. I say all the time, JC is like the pro at this stuff. Like he'll remember anything about anything.
Yeah. I mean, when I was calling the games, that would just be like automatically, oh yeah, that would have been February of 2007, and we were down 17 at the under 16. But now it gets a little cluttered in there. You know, I'm more concerned about you giving away puppies than I am the greatest comeback in recent history.
Yeah, I should have looked that up at some point, but I guess I dropped the ball on that.
It's a hard stat to find, man. You know, maybe Debates has it somewhere. All right, well, what is your opinion of how the ball game unfolded on Sunday? What type of win is that for this program right now?
I mean, necessary, regardless of how pretty or ugly it was. Like if you lose that game, I mean, you plummet and with from a metric standpoint, and you know those things sit with you, and we saw that last year with that North Florida loss. Like it's just hard to recover from those things, if not impossible. You have to have some crazy wins, and you know even an ugly loss that damages your metrics. Like South Carolina dropped in the Ken Palm, I think it was about 20 spots after that win. So you know that just tells you how you know your efficiency and you know margin of victory and all that whatever goes into you know those kind of rankings, and those things are considered when it comes tournament time. So you know you drop that much after a win, you're going to drop a hell of a lot more after a loss. So I just figuring out a way to win like keeps your head a little bit above water. So I mean I thought that South Carolina was going to put up one of those metric helping wins after the first 10 minutes of that game when, you know, everybody was on fire. Everybody was knocking down threes. I think South Carolina made their first 4. I mean, it was just it was a sight. It was a sight to see early in that game. And then, you know, they switched up defenses, Southern Miss did, and South Carolina had some trouble. And you know, they had 2 guys who just got hot. One guy who was just locked down defensively, another guy who was cleaning up boards. I mean, they played so much better the middle 20 minutes of the game, and it took Michi and a Michi miracle almost to come back and win that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for what it's worth, how would you like to be Israel Hart's barber? Or if he doesn't have one, he needs one. He's got no offense to the Hart family, but that guy's got the worst hair I've ever seen. That was a tough look, man. You had to overcome that too. You know, every time you're coming down the floor, that you got that dude kind of flowing around. You know, there were 27 players between the 2 teams that were transfers. Did you know that, John? There were 27 players who were transfers, 11 on South Carolina's team and 16 on Southern Mississippi's. You know, I don't know how good Southern Mississippi is going to end up being this year, and I don't know how good South Carolina is going to end up being this year. But what I do know and you cover college basketball incredibly well. And obviously Mike has a front row seat in all the arenas he goes to, is what we thought we knew about this sport. We don't know anymore, because you don't know who's on anybody's team. You don't know how they're going to play together. You don't know anything about these guys until they get well into the season. And so I looked at it a little bit differently from a lot of people who were reading the logo on the jersey, John. And I thought, for a group like the Gamecocks, who have 11 transfers, and Lamont's playing, 11, 12 guys, trying to figure out who's who and who can play with whom and do what and this, that, and the other. And there are some deficiencies. Well, there's no doubt. We'll talk about them. I thought it was a great win. I thought it was great for them to be able to go through that together and come out on top, because that helps a group that's never played together before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's 11 new guys. South Carolina's got 5 freshmen in there too, so those guys aren't all transfers. But yeah, it was. I mean, I think the same can be said for all sports, at least to some degree. Like, it's hard to project any team, given that there's so much roster turnover every year. I mean, we see it in football. We certainly see it in basketball. Basketball may be a little bit more prevalent because you got guys who are hopping in a little bit more and the roster size is a little bit smaller. So, South Carolina is certainly one that, you're not really sure, too much about and how everything's going to come together. You can get all the best players in the world, and if they don't come together, you're not necessarily going to be great, or it may take a little bit longer. So, South Carolina had some guys who weren't really highly recruited who came in this portal class, and you hope that you hope that kind of the sum is greater than the parts, so to speak. And maybe we're seeing that in some ways, but there's got to be a lot of improvement to kind of make any hay this year.
Yeah, I'll point out one other thing, and then I do want to move to football with you. Obviously, they're firing off the threes. They're on pace to set essentially every school record that's ever existed, good and bad, probably, with 3-pointers this year. It was really, really interesting to me. We knew that Eli Ellis would be on the floor at the end of the game because he's one of their best shooters. It was also interesting to see how much Simeon played. Those 2 freshmen, John, had a combined 56 minutes in this game, which is – that tells me a lot about what Lamont Paris, he's backing up everything he said to you and to us and to all other people about Hayden Simeon. But Asandiko and Butler and Elijah Strong, those are your 3 like true big guys that are down there. Goose egg in the point department this weekend. That's got to improve, or they're going to get their tails whipped in the SEC.
Well, Kreist has to figure out a way to get on the court. I mean,
Right.
He's only played 6 minutes over the course of 2 games. So, the fact that he's not getting on the court is a major red flag. Yeah, I mean, Butler isn't off to a great start. I wish he would play with a little bit more confidence in what he is, because he looks a lot better to me in terms of his ability to move, but he's just being really handsy. He needs to be a little bit more physical, but at the same time, like, that was the big bugaboo for Lamont Paris after that game against Southern Miss in general, was nobody played physical. Nobody played defensively. I know they were really disappointed and upset with that fact. And Monday film session was quite pointed and direct. And I think that they will certainly I think you'll see a change in that tonight. From the team as a whole, but Butler specifically, he's got to be better. He's got to be more physical and a little bit tougher down low.
I love that song, by the way. Let's get physical. Gamecocks are 15.5-point favorites against.
I'll let the chat box figure out if Jamie's singing was better or Mike's Southern accent from earlier was better.
It was Mike's impersonation of Brian Kelly's Southern accent.
Right.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You remember the press conference, right?
Oh, I definitely remember that.
Actually, it was at the basketball arena. And he's like, and we're going to be a big family. And everybody's like, good Lord, what was that?
I know.
So we were talking over the break, like, I think if Brian gets in the TV next year, he should start talking like the two guys in the movie Airplane. Maybe we could play that clip. A couple of you got that one where it's like, cut me some slack, Jack. He could just do it, different voices for different venues. But yeah, that was his Southern accent, and it was not good. Between that and the dancing with recruits.
Oh, the dancing on the turntable.
Oh,
he pulled one of these.
Yeah, he pulled one of those.
Like, Brian, it's the 70s, man.
Stop, please, Brian, stop. You don't have to. When you have to try that hard, it's not working.
Brian,
just be you. Everybody knows who you are. You got based on who you are.
That's when it went south on the Bayou. They're like, hey, man, now you're just disrespecting who we are as people. Like, take that crap out of here.
How's the family, guys?
That's not even how they talk down there.
No, not at all.
Gamecocks PC tonight, 7:00 tip. Derek and the Judge Manning, will be on the air at 6:30 SEC Network. Plus, if you'd like to watch that game.
I saw the new View.
For
the first time in 100 years since Bob Fulton, they moved the radio post.
They sure did. That's all.
Yeah, I think what happened was last year they moved the media up top, and Derek and Casey just wanted to come be back with us. I'm pretty
share
sure
a sandwich with you up there.
Yeah. I think that's why they ended up moving. So
clearly,
that's what we'll go with.
Yeah.
Just needs to go. He passes it to the man. He shoots.
And boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes the dynamite. He passes it to the man.
Oh man!
He's got about the same view that guy had. So
I will tell you this. I received a phone call. This was a few months ago, and it was from a fairly high-ranking administration guy from another SEC school, and he started asking me random questions about where I like to set up when I did radio for college basketball. So, well, we all like to set up right there near the middle where TV is, and if we can't get the TV spot, well, then, a few feet to the left or the right. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening. And his school has also changed. So it's not just a South Carolina thing.
No,
it's unfortunately, and
selling those tickets, man.
Yeah, it's just the reality of the situation. There's a lot more I could say on that, but I won't. I'll leave it up to Whittle. But yeah,
you don't want any part of that either.
You don't want any part of it either. You're gonna see a lot. Yeah, I noticed everybody the room got real quiet when when this subject came up. Go back to family. No, it's but to call a game from the corner in college basketball, that's a challenge.
I'd imagine that's a great challenge if you're a radio guy. TV would probably be a little bit easier, but
well, I'll say this. I mean, I've done some NBA with the Hawks on TV, and even the TV in the NBA now, half the games I did were on the court, right there, middle, which is what we all want, what we're all used to. The other half, the game I did in Memphis, the game I did in Charlotte, the game I did in Indiana, we were in the mezzanine for TV, not radio. We were between the lower and upper deck, and that's where the Hawks TV crew now calls the game. So that is a trend. Those seats cost a lot of money, and they are selling them left and right.
Well, Duke was way ahead of the game years ago. I've talked to Debbie Antonelli's told me horror stories about.
For Duke, we have to literally climb a ladder. I remember I did a game with LaFonso Ellis, who's about 6'9". Now, for me, climbing up the ladder, not such a big deal. You're asking a 6'9" guy in a suit to climb up this, like you're climbing up a ladder in a submarine, right? To get to this crow's nest, and where Cameron Indoor feels like it's a million miles away. But that's where the TV crew does it for any Duke game.
Yeah, it's brutal, and it's hot as crap up there, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's a little sticky.
All right, Gamecock offense has been sticky at best. John, who's
we don't have to talk about football.
Just family. Let's just talk about Brian Kelly's accent.
The last 2 days,
you're acting like we have to do these things.
No, no, we don't have to. The last 2 days, it's actually been very minimal around here because there's just not a lot we don't know until we see things on on Saturday. Is Fury meeting with the media today? Is it Fury and Sean? How are they handling this whole OC thing today?
Well, we got to get it right. It is Furry. It's not Fury.
He's Fury to me, man.
Okay, well, it can be Fury to you if you want.
Fury sounds better, you know.
Okay,
Fury, whatever. Are they going to code this OC or what?
They're not going to trot him out there today. They maybe next week, who knows? But we'll just get to talk to Clayton and Joe D today.
Oh, well, Joe D was fun a couple weeks ago. That'll be fun. That'll be good.
That's not fun, isn't how they described it on the bigspur.com message boards.
There's a lot of things on message boards right now that people just need to glaze over. Keep your sanity. I want to ask you a real true question about this though.
Okay.
Regardless of the outcome of the games, what if this offense really clicks these last 3 weeks? How serious do you think of a candidate he would be?
I mean, I think you're talking about putting up 50 points a game. I mean, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but this will be offensive coordinator hire number 4. Mm-hmm. And you just promoted a guy from within who was fired on a 3-year contract, 9 games into the season. Mm-hmm. Like, Shane Beamer is coaching for his life. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to win back many people by promoting somebody. And I hate to say this for Mike. Mike
Shula.
No,
Mike Furry.
Okay.
I hate to say this for Mike, but like, I think you just have to go outside and bring in somebody. I mean, you've got to win back the fan base. You've got to win over your offense. You've got to win over recruits, and you can't keep promoting guys from within and say that it's going to be better, because if it's going to be that much better, then why the heck wasn't that going on in the first place? So I mean,
yeah,
I think you're talking averaging 50 points a game, and I'm not talking about 100 on Coastal Carolina and 20 on the other two, to be able to justify making that move, as unfortunate as it sounds.
Yeah, well, you need 25 in those other two, but I know what you're saying.
I'm being a little hyperbolic anyway by saying 50, but
yeah, just a tad. 40 might get it done. Hell, 25 might get it done at this rate. Yeah, it really, I'm with you, man. Like, it's so interesting because that would be a tough conversation. Like, this really, really is what I want, but I can't hire you. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. I do think that Shane Beamer, if it's really outstanding, I think it would change the pulse of people around here in a hurry. Hell, I mean, they'll watch a D3 game and be like, well, that guy named John Johnson, did you see his offense? We should hire that guy. I mean, the pulse can change overnight with the fans. So where it is today and where it can be after the Clemson game, I think, are two totally different things. But your point is well read. What did you think about Shane's comments yesterday when he was asked about his OC hires and what he would be looking for?
Well, that was my question. I didn't even ask him about his OC hires, really. I asked him about I guess it was a little bit about his past OC hires, because they've had a lot of similarities in the past in terms of having an NFL background, or at least trumpeting their NFL background is their biggest selling point. Like, one of the biggest selling points on Marcus Satterfield, even though he was only in the NFL as an assistant offensive line coach for a year, one of the biggest selling points on him was, he was in the NFL and learned from Joe Brady. And, that's what we kept hearing over and over again. So, I asked him if he was willing to deviate from his past kind of, ideal of what he's looked for. And he went on a lengthy defense of Dowell and Marcus, those two specifically. He lost me with that, in terms of just wanting to be able to back him up and say, he's got a point here with this. I can't get there. I'm okay with the job Dow Loggins did here. Obviously, he was put in a bad spot his first year. Not only with offensive line talent, but also with injuries that happened that year. I was willing to give him a little bit of a pass on that one, but his second year was pretty darn good. He broke in a redshirt freshman quarterback and had them playing great football over the back half of the season, and pretty good football early on. So I don't have a problem with Dowell, but when you go on such a lengthy rant about how you've gotten these things right when you're at the bottom, near the bottom of the league, and the conference and scoring year in and year out, you just can't do that.
What is that noise? Oh, it's gone now.
I don't know what's going on behind me.
Is your dog
Y'all
attacking
talk
you?
amongst yourselves for a few seconds.
We should just have a separate segment called Whittle's Wonderland and just have all these random things going on behind him as he doesn't break his concentration in answering probing questions about Gamecock football.
And did the batteries die and the birds? Whatever happened to them?
I think the dogs chased him away. Bentley did bring me a squirrel one day. So there may not be as much wildlife out there as anymore.
Birds have probably flown south, and the other creatures might be in your attic. At this point, they got to find somewhere warm.
Hey, squirrels a tasty meal as long as you boil it first.
All right, Clark. All right, cousin Eddie.
I've eaten squirrel before. Yeah, I get where Shane was coming from. I understand where he's coming from. I get it. And his message might not be anything that is intended for anybody else other than a certain section of people. I got it. But it's just such a slippery slope right now when speaking to the public about where your football program is. Every single word is judged, and it's judged with a 9-pound hammer, right, John? So I'm with you. I feel like he should have just short and sweet to that thing. Hey, look, we've had some good moments. We've had some bad moments. I don't want to get into all that, but I tell you what, this is priority number one. Let's get our offense fixed. And we're looking nationwide to find the best guy we can find at South Carolina and be done with it. Move on. Basically
what he said would, apart from his defense of his past hires, was fine. Like, I mean, I asked him if he was kind of married to the idea of having a guy with an NFL background. And he, when he wasn't talking about his past coordinators, he said, I'm open to anything. And he said, we've been bad at sacks. We've been bad scoring points. We've been bad this, that, and listed 3 or 4 things. And he said, we've got to get better at all those things. And I've got to bring in somebody who can run a productive offense because we got to put up more points. And I'm open to anybody who can do that. Like, if that's all he said, that's a great answer. But all of that gets lost in talking about the time Marcus Satterfield put up 63 points against Tennessee. And, I think if he would have left all that out, then the rest of his answer would have been perfectly fine. Maybe not exactly what folks wanted, but perfectly fine. But you throw in all the Satterfield stuff and all the Loggins stuff. And, I think Loggins takes a little bit too much criticism. But certainly there's some that was warranted, but I just, that was off-putting, and it didn't read the room. And you talk about he's speaking to a certain faction of people, and I don't know who those people are. I'm not sure they could, fill up a room. You've got to speak to the fan base, and he wasn't speaking to the fan base.
Not very well. That's probably about the first time I can remember that I heard an answer like that, and I thought, man, Shane, you got to button it up here, bud. But what do I know?
The good news is he won't put his foot in his mouth nearly as much as the guy 2 hours north. Dabo just can't help himself. I mean, Dabo, every press conference, in the midst of a program in rapid decline and the fan base clearly upset about it, Dabo just wants you to know that he's done great things, and that's all that matters. And just says one thing after another where, like, if I was a press secretary, like, no, dude, no, just try another approach. He doesn't care, though. He's like, I got 2 national titles. You want to fire me? Fire me. I'm going to say a bunch of stuff that's going to piss off my entire fan base.
Yep. I'll take my $70 million and go home. Are you driving to College Station, John?
I'm not.
No way.
Are you flying to College Station?
I'm flying to College Station.
All right.
You got to
I'm
fly.
an idiot. I do some dumb things sometimes. I booked a flight out of Charlotte for 6:45 a.m. I'm in Columbia. I'm gonna have to. That's gonna be awful. I don't know what I was thinking.
6:45 a.m. on Saturday?
No, Friday.
Oh, yeah. That's not very smart.
No, it wasn't.
Are you going into? Well, they do have an airport. Or are you doing? I was going to say, are you doing Houston or Austin, or you're actually going to do direct into College Station?
No, I'm going to Houston and driving up.
Okay. Yeah, that's the question. When you fly to do an Aggie game or to cover an Aggie game, you have to ask yourself, do you want 2 hours in the car from Houston or 2 hours in the car from Austin? Now, personally, I always choose Austin because Austin's a cool town and Houston is Houston. But the pricing could certainly play a factor in that too.
Where do you – I'll ask you next. I don't want to take up all John's time. All right. Well, enjoy some Texas barbecue. And
You've been there for a game, right, John?
Yeah, I've been out there a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a really cool venue for college football. And I know some people have fun with their cheer section, their pep guys.
Pat DeMarco was talking about them on Monday, and he couldn't remember the name. He called them the Callboys.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm sure those exist somewhere. But I think they serve a different purpose entirely.
The Callboys. I said,
yeah.
I think they're the Yell leaders.
Gosh. Yeah,
Said, oh, well, whatever.
Are they on Epstein Island or something?
All the same to me.
Yeah. But no, it's a really, really cool. And, of course, you're going to see them at their best because they've got their best team in God knows how many years. So that's going to be a hell of an environment. Well, good for you, John, and soak it up.
Yeah, soak it in, John. Have fun. Maybe stay in Charlotte on Thursday night. Just a little word to the wise.
Yeah, that may not be a bad idea.
You know,
I'm a night owl anyway. Just go get there at 11 o'clock and just sleep in the what you call it?
Point. Yeah, airport.
Mm-hmm.
The terminal.
Yeah, terminal. That's the one.
Well,
I didn't even look. What is the point spread? 17-ish.
It's now 19.5.
There has to be one game. I'm not predicting anything. There has to be one game where Carolina truly just breaks out, not just the opening drive, but the offense, the light bulb goes on, and the proper plays are made at the proper time, and you surprise everybody with a great scoring output.
That'll be next week. That'll be next week against Coastal. They'll drop
Coastal Carolina.
That'll be their 50 of 100.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that so out of left field to just expect that to happen one time?
I think that comes back to a lot of what we've been talking about around here. When you find what works, keep running it. Make them stop it. Don't stop yourself. Make them stop it.
But what has worked?
No, I mean, they have had things that have worked. That's the point. You know, they've had some great drives where they've done some good things. And then you just don't see it again.
Well, think about it. In September, it was, need to run Lenoris more. Well, clearly that, number one, all of a sudden he doesn't seem to welcome contact and running out of bounds or what have you. Number two, defenses clearly know that's coming. So it's not like Cam Newton and you just run him between the tackles 20 times a game and get 100 yards. That ain't this. So then it was, open it up. What I wanted to see is, take more deep shots and stretch the field vertically and try to get some big plays. Well, that hadn't worked. Then it was, clearly, they got to change running, but Fuller's the guy. He's clearly the guy. You give him the ball 20-something times and you're going to get, no, that hadn't worked. Ever since that LSU run, he certainly looked more than human. If you roll out Lenoris and none of it has really worked consistently, right? Like we can sit here and say we can do 100 different things, but none of it's been great.
Well, we're talking about the same thing, but separately though. Like when you're running, all these plays need to work together. You know, like all these guys that we have on, like they're not talking about vertical. You'll hit vertical if you're stretching horizontal. And like Carolina, like when they find those plays that do click, they don't ever come back to them. You know, it's like, well, they run this and then they run that and then they run. It's like calling pitches. You know, if nobody can hit the fastball, why the hell are you throwing 75% breaking balls? Just keep throwing fastballs. Make them prove that they can hit it. Anyways.
So you want to see what? More quick passing game, more horizontal.
I don't care what I see, Mike.
Crossing.
I could care less what I see. I could care less what I see.
What about you, John? What do you want? What do you want to dial?
I want to see them find something that works and be consistent in running it. That's what I want to see. I don't care what that is.
I think everybody wants to see that.
Yeah.